Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken. To know that without soul, there is no life. Without soul, there is no existence. See, there's a reason that a U was added to the Spanish translation of the sun, S-O-L, soul. There's a reason for everything. See, it's the universe, the nature of everything to show itself. It is nature's doing, nature's mind, nature's consciousness, the omnipotent, all-knowing, ever-present being. It is that consciousness that reflects itself back to itself in order to have a stimulation, communication. In order for anything to exist in life, since everything comes from nature, the self-creating principality, the Almighty, the great and wondrous and mysterious God. There needs to be a conscious usage of the environment. There must be a conscious usage of the environment for anything to consciously exist and live and be, whether it's an inner environment or an outer environment. The reason that the U was added to the Spanish translation of the sun, which is soul, and now the word soul, S-O-U-L, relates to the word spirit or energy, is because nature is showing itself through its conscious beings that you are the light. You are the soul. You have the soul. You have the light. You have the energy because you are that energy. Nothing in creation nothing in nature, nothing in creation that's not against itself and only for itself and the betterment of its environment, whether inner or outer, must have the light. You must have the light to have the light. You cannot have delight, delight, D-E-L-I-G-H-T, within your own realm or mind without being conscious, fully conscious of the positives that you have and all of the things that benefit you in that moment, in those moments within your own mind. The things that you stick to or cling on to. Those are the things that upgrade unconsciousness to consciousness. We must have sense enough to see that the soul is you and me. And nothing can exist in nature without it. So that would mean that all things are soul. Everything that is vibrating and that is moving and has its own specific purpose and is doing what it's doing as a living being is a soul, is the soul. But once you really get deeper, you ask, then if the soul is everything that has life, then where does that life come from? And why did the Spanish, which are descendants of the Mayans and the Lemurians and the Atlanteans, why did they call the sun this? See, these are things that we are not taught. These are the types of reservoirs of knowledge that we need to take, delve into, and use the information. Use that information to expand our own consciousness and better our environment and the people around us and the other beings around us, seen and unseen. See, what people don't know is that the sun, being the center of our galaxy, or the projector of our galaxy, not necessarily the center, that's a half-truth, but being a projection of our galaxy, all of the different planets and moons and such. They don't teach you that that thing that emits the light from the sun, that thing behind the sun, behind the light of the sun, not the actual sun, it's not the actual sun. The sun itself is just light. The sun itself is just light. That is what's being projected out of what is behind it. That is what is being projected. The light, the sun, the soul is a projector. It's a projection. It's a projection of energy from what's behind the sun, or what causes that light, or what causes the light to burst from this spherical object, or what we perceive as a spherical object, and give life to this planet, to this plane that we exist on. That thing behind the sun is mind. Or electromagnetic energy communicating with itself in such a way that it gives life. It is consciousness. Everything in nature has its own consciousness. Everything in nature. Now see, when you see things in nature like trees and different plants and insects, bugs, all moving their own pace, but you look at trees and plants and you would think that they don't move. But see, this is a facade. Science today proves that everything vibrates and everything moves. The ancients, the magi, the prophets, diviners, and saviors all speak of the motion of creation, the motion of the vibrations that create life. And they all say that it comes from one source. And that source is the mind. The conscious and subconscious reacting with one another. The conscious putting in codes into the quantum computer that we call the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind taking those codes that it inputs, that has been input into it, and creates a reality for the conscious mind to experience. Then in turn, the conscious mind takes what it experiences and takes that information and reformats it and creates codes. Then those codes are integrated into the subconscious mind over and over and over and over. Infinitely. This is infinitely happening within nature. This is nature. This is the soul. You are the soul. People speak about selling their souls, or you're already selling your soul because everything is the soul and you're a channel for the soul, a physical conscious representation of the soul as a human being, taking the energy and releasing it and giving it away. You're taking energy and giving away constantly all of the time. You are absorbing light. Everything here is light, is refractions of light, unseen and seen light, reflecting off one another within a magnetic flux, within a magnetic grid, a magnetic interfacing lock, which bounces that light off of that magnetosphere and penetrates deeply into the conscious mind, therefore creating a realm, therefore creating a reality, spiraling out. See, we are the soul. The thing that projects that light is your own mind. And the planets, the stars, the comets, even things on Earth, animals, all different types of animals, foxes, lions, bears, all different types of insects, dragonflies, butterflies, bees, beetles, the aquatic animals, sea animals, everything here, your art, what you display, what you take out of nature, trees, different types of trees, everything is a representation. Everything is a holographic image bent by magnetism through your conscious mind, through the conscious part of this realm, through the conscious part of this soul, through the conscious part of this infinite all soul. There are philosophies that say there is no soul or nothingness. That is because when you are communicating with yourself and you already know everything, then there is no need to communicate to self, so there is nothing there. So without you being who you are in the realm and all of the others being what they are in the realm, all of it down to the smallest blade of grass, down to the smallest blade of grass. If it did not exist, then you would not exist. If something happened within your mother's womb before you were born, or if your mother didn't meet the certain person, the certain man for you to be born, then there is no information to communicate then. So everything is happening as a holographic expression of principles, of mind, of thought forms. And nature is the highest frequency manifested, fit as the physical representation of thought forms. Okay? The human being has now become conscious of itself within nature. So now it is time for us to become one with ourselves again. Even though there is so much separation in the beauty of things becoming multitudes of different forms of itself, the beauty of it, we must begin to allow ourselves to see the connections between those things also, and how they are one. This is natural thinking. The sun is the soul. The sun is the light that's being projected from the conscious mind into the subconscious realm and bending back onto itself. We are all the soul. There are rituals that say you can sell your soul. That is, you're already doing that. So why would you do a ritual for that? That's misinformation and miscommunication between cells. The sunlight beams its light down. It hits the earth. It hits the soil. And all of this information from the different forms of light hitting the soul begin to grow up, and expand and expand. Information is constantly communicating with itself, expanding. This is a wondrous realm. A mysterious realm. The works are very mysterious. And creates a conscious sentient being, able to use the environment around it as the physical expression in the highest physically manifested expression of principles and moralism. So that means that the sun is projecting everything here. The sun is projecting everything here. So that would mean that all of your ancestors are in your DNA. Because without the sun, there would be no DNA. Without the light being projected from the conscious mind, from the subconscious, conscious to the subconscious and conscious. So all of the wheels, all of us are soul wheels, solar spheres, interconnected with one another. Interconnected. Our auras, our bioenergetic fields. Go research that. They all connect with one another. So every energy is never destroyed and only is never created or destroyed. It's only transformed from one state to the next, from one form to another form. So when people, quote unquote, perish, no, they're transforming. They're going to somewhere that their physical manifestation of what you saw is not them. The physical manifestation of them was their quote unquote physical body. That was just physical manifestation of what they actually are. Their mind was transforming. Their mind is transforming. So physically, they're also transforming. As above, so below. As without, so within. Everything is in unison. The mind of God is the expression of all life. The mind of God is the whole, it's expressing all life. So everything is a projection of God, which means that originally everything is God. Everything is in God. Everything can be nothing but God because only God exists. Only God can make anything. If it's an omnipresent, all-knowing, and omniscient, I said all-knowing and omniscient. They mean the same thing. But all-powerful and all-loving being. So we have to start questioning these religious and spiritual systems that do not teach us to connect with nature. They do not teach us to meditate on natural thinking, to meditate on how nature works, to see how it works. They do not teach us to keep everything in balance. To everything that we do, we should keep it in balance with nature. We should keep it in balance with natural thinking. We should keep everything, we should, even if you have a so-called negative emotion, even if you have like anger, you see, these things are not negative. What we have done is we've created a dual sight. We have created dualism. And since we have created dualism and separated everything consciously, now we put everything that we see as negative in an extreme box, in an extreme realm, in an extreme box. Okay, nah, don't do that at all. No. But no, all things in moderation. This is a principle. This is a Christ express physical manifestation in the verbal tense. All in moderation, all things in moderation. We should learn to be balanced in every way. When you're using a certain emotion, use it for something, use it in balance. Use it in balance with your natural thinking. The first thing you should think about with natural thinking is that, oh shit, there wouldn't be any life. There wouldn't be genes, there wouldn't be DNA, there wouldn't be bacteria, there wouldn't be trees, animals, plants, none of that. There wouldn't be any of that without the sunlight. Without the light. Without the light. But see, it goes even deeper than that. But see, it goes into the central sun. It goes into our different planets that we come from, different star seeds that we planted in these different universes and galaxies. It's an infinite wheel. It's an infinite wheel. It's an infinite cycle. It's an infinite clock. Tied to the end. The beginning is tied to the end. That's why he says the last. That's why the Christ says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the all. Once you reach that point within your own mind and look at these things psychologically and everything as a psychological symbol or representation of yourself, then you will begin to take things that are beneficial from you psychologically, looking at it, and will begin to integrate that into your thought process, which will being taken directly from nature, that will cause your thinking to become more natural and begin to fight off the genetically modified thinking, the genetically modified thinking states that we have placed ourselves in. Everything, when you start thinking naturally, you're gonna come out and you're gonna be like, oh, I need sunlight. As soon as you wake up, no matter what you're doing, you're gonna be like, I know I need sunlight. I need sunlight. I need to get out. I need to be active. I need to be moving when the sun animates the reality, when the sun animates your realm, when your mind animates your realm, that's it. It's over with then. I am Jah Mashak, and I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. Today, we should analyze our realities and see where our source of energy comes from, where our power comes from. The power to even get up every day and do. and do anything. The energy we get from when we eat things that grow under the sunlight. We should analyze all of these things and find it within ourselves to embrace what is most beneficial for our existence. Stop all of the fighting and fussing about different points of views on the same object, and embrace each other's views on the same object to connect your dots and become one. Share and subscribe. I love myself. Peace.